Well, it's a beautiful day here at Stony Lodge and I'm on the chipping green because today we're going to talk a little bit about how to control your spin using your sand wedge to produce 3 different types of shots using the same technique just by changing your setup. Okay. First of all, the club that I'm using is a Vokey spin milled wedge. It's got 58 degrees of loft and 9 degrees of bounce. Firstly, what I'm going to do is show you the technique that you should adopt for all 3 shots, okay? Dead simple, really simple. Anyone can do this. Because we're quite close to the green, we have a narrow stance. Generally, the further you are away from the green, the wider the stance. And that's because you're using a longer club that requires more stability. Whereas here, we're only using a sand wedge, so we need more control, so a narrower stance. The other thing we do is we make sure the sole of the club is flat along the ground, like so. Okay, so we need to stand a little bit closer to the ball than we would do, say, for a full shot. When we set ourselves up to the golf ball for all 3 shots, we have our arms nice and relaxed, comfortably straight, not dead straight, not locked out, just hanging down naturally. And all 3 shots, our hands should be opposite the inside of this left thigh here. You also notice that the club forms an extension of this left arm here. Okay, and that's important. That's an important relationship to maintain throughout the swing. So as we take our club back in our backswing, there's no wrist action. We're keeping this left arm and club in this straight line, rather than sort of breaking the wrists here. We don't want any of that for this shot. Okay, so it's straight back and straight through. If we notice on the follow through, this club forms an extension of my left arm here. Okay. The other thing to take into consideration with playing the shot for all 3 of these shots is the strike. The strike's one of the most important factors, if not the most important factor in the swing. So having a great golf swing, but if you're not striking the ball, then it's not going to go where you want it consistently. So the strike is important. What a lot of golfers make the mistake of doing is trying to play a swing similar to a putting swing. Okay? And when they do that, they wonder why all the golf balls shoot through the back of the green into the bunker or out of bounds, like this. Thin shot or top shot. And that's because the angle of attack is too shallow. For this shot, on all iron shots, the angle of attack wants to be slightly steeper. So you're hitting down onto the back of the ball, which imparts spin on the ball, taking it up into the air, and obviously giving it its backspin when it hits the green. Okay? Now, by taking it away like a putting swing, it's coming back too shallow and you're hitting the top of the ball or halfway up the ball, causing those bad shots. So when you make the swing, for this shot, we're lifting the club up slightly in the backswing, which creates a more descending angle of attack on the way down. No wrist action, we're not taking it up like this with the wrist, we're lifting our arms up, lifting the club up slightly, and then coming down on the back of the ball, like so. So we're there, up, down. And that's the same technique for all 3 shots. The difference between all 3 shots is going to be the changes we make in our setup, and that's going to give us 3 different types of ball flight and 3 different types of spin. First of all, we're going to go for the middle of the green, so we're going to go for the red cone. This is our standard pitch shot, okay? So our setup, when we set up to our golf ball, our stance wants to be quite narrow, and our ball position wants to be in the centre of our stance. Weight distribution even. We'll do a little practice swing first, just to make sure we've got our technique good. We're keeping our relationship between the left arm and club. We're also making sure that when we've hit our shot, we're able to hold our finish position until the ball comes to a standstill. That shows you've got a good balance in the swing. Okay, so ball in the centre, red cone. Not a bad shot. Okay, now we're going to go towards the back of the green. So what we could do is we could lengthen the swing, play the same shot, or we could play the same swing and just change the setup slightly. So for this shot, we want to put more top spin on the ball. We don't want as much backspin. So our ball position for this shot wants to be more towards the back of the stance. Our weight slightly forwards on the front foot. Okay. Our hand position wants to be in the same position opposite the inside of the left thigh. That stays the same for all 3 shots. What that actually does is it takes loft off the golf club. So our sand wedge, our 58 degree sand wedge now is just a little bit less lofted. So that's going to produce a little bit more bit more topspin on the golf ball. Okay? So the same swing, we're just going to do our practice again. Weight forwards. Hold hold our finish, set up to the golf ball, back of the stance with our ball position, weight slightly forwards, same swing. We can see that ball keeps on running, just about holding on the green there at the back. So not a bad shot from the same swing. The final shot, a little bit tricky this one, is our high lob shot, our blue cone, okay? Now, we want to put as much backspin as we can on this golf ball. We're not going to try and change the technique, we're going to keep the same technique. We're just going to move our ball position further forwards in the stance. So our ball position this time is opposite the left heel, very similar to where you play a driver from. Our weight wants to be slightly more onto the back foot. Pushing the ball further forwards and keeping the hands opposite the inside of the left thigh actually means the hands are slightly behind the golf ball. So instead of de-lofting or taking loft off the club like we did in the last shot, this time we're putting some loft on the golf club. Okay? We need to be really, really careful here that we make sure we get a good strike. Okay? Because the club is sitting back slightly, you're showing more of the leading edge to the golf ball, so you need to make sure you do get under the golf ball for this one. Okay, so again, practice swing first, and then play our shot. Pretty good. Thanks for watching the video. There's loads more on my channel which you can subscribe to. You can also follow me on Twitter. You can like me on Facebook. Thanks again. I will see you again soon.